as an ambitious masculine man on self-improvement who wants to make the world a better place, wants to become the absolute best version of himself, and who wants to create a better life for his closest people, you of course know about all the success stories that are happening in your niche and the endeavour that you're trying to achieve. You hear these stories of extremely young men making millions, and it seems so unbelievable. It's so hard to comprehend how someone so young could put in so much focused effort on something that most people never even aspired to do. It's so hard to believe and so hard to comprehend a young man doing something like that. But that should be the norm. Think back to World War II. Whether voluntarily or not, there were boys as young as 13, 14 and 15 years old who went to go out and fight for their country. Of course they would have been absolutely terrified, and they probably didn't even have the correct training. But in the eyes of a country that desperately needs help, those men were old enough to fight. And around that time period and once before that, the life journey for boys was that from around 0 to maybe like 11, 12, they were growing up. They got taken care of and just did what they really wanted. And then probably around 13 and probably even younger, they then started to get trained on how to work and do stuff and do productive things. Because back only a few hundred years ago, there was no such thing as this modern teenager who went to school and up to 18 years old didn't really have to have any responsibilities. Back a few hundred years ago, 14-year-old boys were getting full-time jobs to help provide for their family. Because times were of course very hard and it brought out the absolute best in everybody. But now there is a social norm of young men as old as maybe their early mid-20s who don't need to have their life together or even have some sort of life trajectory. I really started to think about this when I turned 22 near the start of April. And every single year, up to 21, it felt okay not to have my life together, not to have a full-time job and to kind of be testing out what kind of route I want to go in life. But then I hit 22 and I really thought, I'm a fully grown adult now. 100 years ago, I would have had maybe my third child at this point, and I've been working full-time for 6 years or something. But because the modern Western world is so soft and so feel good about everybody, it's okay even for young men as old as 21 for them to not have their life together and for them to be pissing about doing whatever they feel like. And that brings me back to the point that young entrepreneur millionaires should be normal, because a young teenager should be learning what to do and how to act when he becomes a man, and how to provide and how to build himself up to put himself in a position to become the best possible version of himself when he becomes an adult. You probably heard of Iman Gadji and his story, because he started entrepreneurship when he was around 14 and then worked ruthlessly hard to this day. And the first time I heard the story, I thought that it was kind of cruel and unfair to him that he had to go through such hardship where he had to turn to entrepreneurship so he could provide for his mother and himself, and so that he wouldn't get kicked out of the country. I thought that was so awful, but I think of it now and I realise that brought the absolute best out of him. And even back when he was 19 or 20 or whatever, he became a millionaire. Whereas there are 20-year-olds who literally wake up at 2 p.m. and do nothing with their day. Back over 100 years ago, your grandfather's grandfather and that entire lineage of men were getting their life together. As soon as they became teenagers, they began working, wanting to work with their father so he could teach them how to do stuff, so that he becomes a productive man in society, so he can provide for, and so he can have a family, provide for them and thrive. But now, 14-year-olds play video games. They don't feel the need to do anything important because life is so easy. That's exactly why you need to create a sense of urgency for you to achieve so much and become successful and become rich and be able to provide and retire your parents and everything similar to that. Because honestly, you're behind in life. It's not okay that at this age you don't have your life together, because you should have been worrying about that when you turned 13 or 12 even. But if you haven't started yet, of course it's not all doom and gloom, because you understand the importance of needing to get your life together as a young man. And even if you're behind, put in that same type of effort right now. Like I said, I turned 22 not long ago, and I feel I am behind. Honestly, I am behind. I should be much further in life, because I should have been building myself up for many, many years now. But I haven't, and I can't beat myself up for it. That was the social norm. And of course, it's hard to have independent and critical thinking when you're this young, on top of the societal norms that it's okay to be useless as a teenager. Because you need to remember this incredibly important fact. Life is a zero-sum game for men. There are winners and there are losers, and there is no in between. Either you build yourself up to become a winner, or you get beaten by the winners and stay a loser. Because the winners, who have been building themselves up for many, many years because they care to be useful and don't want to piss about when they're young, they will get all the money that they want. They will have the cars, they will have the good opportunities, the women, all of the life experience. They would have made the friends that you would have made if you were in their position. They will get everything that they want from life, because they have been building themselves up for so long that they now deserve all of these great things that you get from life. But you don't deserve that, because you have only been improving yourself for what, a few, like 1 or 2 years. This self-improvement journey and becoming the best, most masculine version of yourself is a lifelong journey. You do not improve yourself for 5 years and then stop. You need to keep going. Life is a zero-sum game for men, and you either build yourself up to be a winner, or you neglect improving yourself and becoming the absolute best version of yourself, and you stay as a loser. That choice is entirely in your hands. Click and watch this video right now. Put in enough time and attention, because that will make anything into reality.